Here's the latest on the Ninja H2 and Ninja H2R. The Ninja H2R has landed. So the American debut of the Ninja H2R has occurred in Orlando, Florida at the AIM Expo, where the bike was shown to the press and to the public. Now, unfortunately, the final details on the Ninja H2R and Ninja H2 are still yet to be fully released. All the details are going to be released in Italy on November 4th. That's when we're going to get the official release of the Ninja H2, the street version, and we'll get the rest of the information about the Ninja H2R. And I'm hoping to get official numbers like how much does it weigh, and also to know more about the traction control and stuff like that. So that's going to happen on November 4th in Italy, so we're just waiting for that to happen. No new details in Orlando, Florida. This is just the first time that we're able to see the bike on American soil. So beyond that, the full extent of the information that we have on the bike is we know that the bike has been tested in New Mexico at the Virgin Atlantic Spaceport in New Mexico, which is pretty awesome. It's also been tested in Japan, and that's one of the places, if you look at the videos, that's where the bike actually is. So we know two locations that the bike has actually been as far as track time, and as far as the debut, obviously in Cologne, Germany, that's where it was released to the world. And then in the United States, in Orlando at the AIM Expo, that's where we saw the motorcycle. So what do we know about the bike? We know there's a street version, there's an H2, and there's a track version, H2R. We know that much. Most likely, we're still anticipating that it might be around 222 horsepower or so for the street version, but that is still rumor right now. That's not officially confirmed. As far as technology on the bike, beyond what you've seen in the videos, we do now know, I mean, this is not a surprise, but so we got launch control, we got a quick shifter, and we have ABS. Now, that's not really going to be a surprise to most of you guys, but at least now we know a little bit more about what the bike has to offer. One other thing I would like to talk about is I know a lot of people have been talking about stuff. It doesn't qualify for racing and all this kind of mumbo jumbo, and that's kind of the excuses that we're getting from people that their favorite bikes are being outclassed by this motorcycle, so they're coming up with all kinds of excuses and stuff like that. And my response to them and to anyone else who makes these kind of statements: what does any of that have to do with the performance of the motorcycle? I thought that if I built the fastest motorcycle in the world, I don't have to race it anywhere or get any trophies or anything like that to make it the fastest motorcycle in the world. You just need to race it to be able to kind of get the trophy, to kind of prove and validate what it's capable of. But the capabilities of a motorcycle are separate of whether it is race eligible or not. So I don't really understand why people are talking all this stuff about it. Might be a nice idea to make this bike a race legal bike, but unfortunately I think a lot of people don't understand this bike and what it's all about. And I have not heard Kawasaki mention anything about wanting this to be a racing bike or any of this stuff that people are complaining about. Even I made this video, the end of the S1000RR, and people are saying, oh, it's not the end, and blah, 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 it's not race legal, and there's a limited amount, and da, 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 da. Irrelevant. I was just having fun with you guys. I mean, ultimately, the BMW S1000RR is irrelevant compared to the Ninja H2R. You're talking about a 300 horsepower supercharged bike. I mean, come on. What's the S1000RR power and stuff like that? I mean, it's totally outclassed. So I was really just having fun with it. And most people enjoyed the video and understood that, but you got a few people that are getting all bent out of shape and, saying all this kind of stuff. You know what? Okay, so it's not really the end of the S1000RR in terms of the way you guys are thinking. And the way that I'm thinking is in terms of, the S1000RR has kind of been dominating, not necessarily in performance, even though it has with performance as well, but in terms of the legendary status. Everyone talks about S1000RR, S1000RR, S1000RR. Well, you know what? It's a distant memory now. No one's talking about the BMW anymore. Everyone's talking about the Ninja. So when I say the end of the S1000RR, that's what I mean. Because ultimately, in terms of performance, there's no competition. It's not even worth considering the Ninja H2R versus S1000RR. Come on. I mean, horsepower alone and the supercharger, I mean, it's a done deal. Even look at the bike. Look at how aggressive this bike looks, how modern this bike looks compared to how normal looking the S1000RR looks. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about the S1000RR, but I'm just saying the fact of the matter is all the attention is on the Ninja H2R, and by the way, on Kawasaki as well, And we now know a lot more about Kawasaki as well. I don't get how a lot of people don't realize what's happening, what's really going down. People are, why do they do this and all this kind of stuff? And they don't see the value of the entire world talking about Kawasaki and also being more educated about Kawasaki as a company in terms of the bigger scope of what they do. I mean, I think a lot of people who are making these comments don't know anything about business and how business works. But that's the boring stuff. We don't care about that. The most important thing, and I think the thing that matters to me the most, is that this bike looks like it's an extremely exciting experience to ride on a bike like this. I mean, this looks like it's the ultimate thrill ride, and I think that's ultimately the goal in terms of what this bike should do performance-wise. Not win races and all this kind of stuff that people are talking about, but to ultimately put the largest possible smile on people's faces and to, have people get on this bike and get off this bike and just be like, mind blown. Absolutely mind blown. I think that is ultimately Kawasaki's goal, so specifically in terms of performance of this bike. Now, beyond that, I think a big factor is going to be the top speed of this bike, because ultimately I think Kawasaki would like to not take home a race trophy or anything like that, but they want to have that badge of the fastest production bike in the world. That is the way I look at it. So the top speed is a huge factor, not whether it can race or not. That's irrelevant. We're talking about a bike that you can own that competes with MotoGP. I mean, that is insane. And I think that is ultimately the goal of Kawasaki. Insanity on two wheels. That is what the Ninja H2R is. And I think that is ultimately the goal. And I think for one of those really rare moments in history, we have a marketing slogan that's really beyond hype, built beyond belief. A lot of people, when they're advertising their products, they go over above and beyond. I mean, I've heard certain camera manufacturers, I'm not going to call any name brands, who talk about, 10 times the quality of the last one. And it's like, yeah, the fanboys buy into that stuff. But you look at it, you're like, this doesn't look 10 times. I mean, 10 times would be going back in time to black and white TV and comparing that to HD of today. That is where it's like, whoa, this is night and day. But then you have people that are marketing and they use these numbers, 10 times whatever, and you look at it and it's like, this doesn't seem to be as extreme as it's being advertised as. But this bike, absolutely from beginning to end, when they said built beyond belief and they deliver this bike, it definitely is beyond belief. As a matter of fact, I have now confirmed that some of the outlandish rumors that have been floating around about this motorcycle regarding what it has done, speeds that it's reached and stuff like that, I can't go into too much details, but I can now confirm that there's a couple of rumors about this bike that are actually true. Really outlandish, just like wow, but actually, in fact, true. As Kawasaki says, built beyond belief. I think those words are quite appropriate. And I can't really confirm much more than that, but November 4th, I may be doing a live event like I did for the Ninja H2R, so definitely stay tuned for that. But definitely this is an amazing time in the motorcycle world, and I, like many of you, are definitely looking forward to more details and the official release of the Ninja H2 and the Ninja H2R on November 4th in Italy. Oh, and by the way, I am giving away one of these beauties right here, Ghost S camera. Rotatable lens, LCD screen. It's got a speaker. You can plug your microphone right in the back to get awesome sound from it. You can attach it directly to your tripod. Again, no adapters. You don't have to spend all this extra money on adapters and all this kind of stuff. Good to go. Great value. It's waterproof. And you can win it right now on your Fast Life or Carlyle's picks. So pretty much just click right here for more information on the contest to win the Drift Innovation Ghost S camera. Where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going? Take a look at some of these other awesome motorcycle videos right here on your Fast Life. Take a look at these. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh